that, well, guess what, dude? I've got like the highest upside of any wide receiver over the last like 10 years, probably. I'm morphing this guy. His comp, Jason, is like Odell Beckham, Justin Jefferson, and Adrian Peterson. Stay tuned to see how a wide receiver is compared to a running back, but we'll talk about that. Dude, I've got the safest wide receiver draft pick in the draft, man. Like, I will be drafting him in fantasy left and right because I believe in him, Jason, and his brain. We'll talk about that too. And man, we got some flyers as well, some sleepers and peepers. So it's all about the rookie wide receivers today and fantasy football. Jason, please tell the public how they can help the show because we need it.
All right. If you guys made it this far and enjoying the information we're going to provide to you, then please hit the subscribe, press the like. We'd like to like, leave us a comment. Let us know, did we forget anybody in our video? People of rookies to draft or to avoid. Let us know. We're also on the radio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We even have a Patreon. And we got a little thank you button if you guys are feeling friendly.
And we need it more than ever, Jason. Our job security is out the window. Anyways, so I got the news. I got the brews. We're going to go over all the latest news in fantasy football and the NFL in general, okay? Because there's some shit that happened today, dude, like 6 hours ago, 2 hours ago, right before this show. Let me get to it. I probably should have, scrolled all the way to the top. Derek Carr, Jason, he is from the butthole of California, butthole of America, the same place that we're from, Bakersfield, California, dude, for God's sakes. He's out for the season. News coming through, man. He's dealing with a shoulder injury. I remember Spencer Rattler was in there. He was actually good for a minute until, I don't know, he wasn't, then he was god-awful. So, for the love of God, dude, Rashid Shaheed is on a lot of people's value lists. Chris Olave, I mean, after the concussions, who knows what he's going to be like. New coaching regime. Dude, you can't not face the new, as a new coach, you can't have Spencer Rattler as your goddamn quarterback.
Yeah, are you sure it's for the season? I saw that it was like maybe season-ending injury.
They said that he's got a shoulder problem, and they're not sure about how serious it is. They think it might be. There's a possibility that it could be season ending. And this is a TV show, Jason. So we go for the extreme.
Well, talk about extreme. How he he hurt his hand during the season, and then it's a shoulder. That I guess playing volleyball or air hockey that he might be out for the season. That's intense, bro.
Well, hey man, you can't move the finger without the shoulder. So there you go. And then, hey dude, I saw this before the show as well. Oh my God, Joe Flacco. There's a Browns fan in my office, man. And she loved Joe Flacco so much. Guess what, dude? You're getting him back on a $4 million deal. I think it goes up to $13 million. It could be worth. Now people are saying, oh, now you know they're not going to draft Shedeur Sanders. I don't know why they wouldn't. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that. I still expect them to draft a rookie quarterback. Deshaun Watson says he's going to come back and prove himself, prove everybody wrong. But yeah, right, dude, you're just going to go rub one out in the locker room. So shut the fuck up.
He's going to prove everybody that he was the words that he was using was guilty or innocent. I'm going to come back and prove that I'm innocent on the football field.
Surprised you didn't laugh about what I said. I thought that was pretty funny. That was good too, though, Jason. I'm going to prove you that I'm innocent on the football field. So, man, why'd you miss all the balls? I got massage oil in my hands. I can't hold on to the ball. Seahawks, Jason, trade for Drew Lock. So they got Sam Darnold and they've got Drew Lock. This reminds me a lot of, you know what this reminds me of? Remember when Matt Flynn came in and threw for 4 touchdowns and 400 yards? The Seattle Seahawks traded for him, and then they drafted. They also drafted Russell Wilson. But man, Drew Lock might be the best quarterback on that team.
Yeah, would you be surprised if he's the starter at the end of the year?
No, I'm just saying, dude. I get it. Like the Viking system is awesome. But Drew Lock and Sam Darnold were pretty damn good comps before last year.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they get a quarterback.
Then lastly, Jason, we got to pay attention to this situation. Tyreek Hill involved in a domestic abuse case, and that might result in a couple of games. I was already probably not going to draft him in the first 2 rounds, but say he goes round 3, would you think about him round 3 if he misses 2 games?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would.
Yeah, me. My name is Jeff. Jeff.
I'll tell you what, it sounds like he's definitely a cheetah.
Oh, shit. That fool, he's a cheetah? in multiple ways, man. Yeah. Okay. Anyways. All right, dude. So that was the news and brews, man. Not much news to speak about. But hey, guess what, dude? I made some charts. You guys like charts and tables and shit like that? We're going to go over the success hit rate of all the wide receivers for the last 3 years, rookie wide receivers, Jason. Does that excite you?
Oh, yeah.
I can tell, man, by the tone of your voice. So anyways, I'm going to start sharing that right now. We're going to go over last year's rookie wide receivers and the hit rate on them. Fantasy hit rate. Remember, last year was a great rookie wide receiver class, man, but the hit rate and the situations where these guys went to was not good, actually. Marvin Harrison Jr., Jason, was the biggest offender. Last year, I told you to draft him, and guess what, dude? That fool fucking sucked. So that was my biggest miss of the year last year, and I hate it. Wide receiver 9, he finishes wide receiver 30 PPR, negative 21 value. Elite Neighbors, man. I think that you were higher on Elite Neighbors than I was, and you ended up being right. So congratulations, Jason. Is that true, what I just said?
I'm not 100% sure true. But
I'm pretty sure it is, because I remember I was like, I don't know, man. I'm not going to get Malik until the 4th round or whatever the fuck. And yeah, or 5th round. I can't remember. But I was 1 round too late on him.
I know Brian Thomas Jr. I was really high on. The
forgotten fucking A you were. Yeah, that was the biggest hit, dude. So Brian Thomas Jr., you probably picked up like, I don't know, Jason, 7th round or some crazy shit like that. I don't know. And yeah, ended up as a wide receiver 4. And now he's going to be a high-end 2nd round pick, maybe 2nd round pick in general. So that was amazing. And then, yeah, hey, even what's up, dude?
If Trevor Lawrence is injured, would you still get him early in the draft?
Did Mac Jones is still there, right?
Mac Jones is gone.
Shit. Where did Mac Jones go? I can't remember.
I don't remember off the top
of my head. Dude, the 49ers should have picked him up and then cut fucking Brock Purdy. Hey.
Why do I feel like he went to the 49ers?
I was like, dude, that's what should have happened. We'll look into that. Research team will look into that. I'm holding my microphone right now because I'm going over this shit.
Stephanie, can you get in that? Thank you. Hurry up. We're live here. She's on.
Say Stephanie?
Yeah, Stephanie, our assistant, our PA, our marketing team.
That's a good name. That sounds like that's an assistant's name. Anyways, that's an assistant's name.
That's an assistant's name. Pam, let's go.
There you go. And then, hey, man, I mean, pretty much, nothing. You got what you drafted for the next couple picks. Keon Coleman, huge disappointment. I actually loved Keon Coleman going into last year. I was like, dude, red zone. The risks that he takes in the contested catches, I thought it was an equal fantasy success. That was not the case. I also loved Ladd McConkey, Jason. I loved him. I said he was going to hit in the second half of the year. He did. I traded for him. And yeah, dude, wide receiver 12. So Brian Thomas Jr. and Ladd McConkey and Malik Neighbors, man, all in the top 12 as rookies. So if you look at it that way, man, huge success, man. There's a lot. You should be drafting rookie wide receivers for the upside.
Real quick, Jamie's in the chat and he says Mac Jones.
Hi, May.
49er.
What did he say?
Tyler?
What did he say?
Mac Jones is a 49er.
Dude, why would they pay Brock Purdy? That's who they wanted to draft anyways, was fucking Mac Jones. He seems like their type of quarterback. But yeah, dude, I would probably be paying Brock Purdy in the 40s if I had him as my backup. Anyways, dude, yeah. So, and then a bunch of huge misses after that. Adonai Mitchell kind of reminds me of somebody that I'll be talking about later. Jermaine Burton fucking beat his family and never saw the field, dude. So Jalen McMillan was the biggest hit. He was a top 24 wide receiver, maybe top 12. I can't remember, over a stretch of time when he gets that slot for Baker Mayfield and the Bucs. So I love that, Jason. But in general, this was the worst year out of the last 3 as far as hit rate. A lot of misses as far as value goes. But that was mainly in the second half of the draft. Wide receivers drafted second round or later. First half, though, or if they're drafted in the first round, Jason, it's like 60%. So hit rate took a hit.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about before the show. It's like there was a lot of busts this year, I guess you could say. But there were still, like, the prospects were more intriguing. They were better last year than they are this year.
Yeah, I mean, there's 3. I mean, we'll talk about this in a minute, though. There are 3 first-round wide receivers for this year. And then 2023 real fast, Jackson Smith and Jigba was a top drafted, but, he went to a terrible situation. So he was overdrafted. Quentin Johnson reminds me of a guy I'm going to talk about later. No. He reminds me of King Tut, Jason, which is that's my nickname for because King Tut, the number one wide receiver, Taman McMillan or whatever his name is. So King Tut reminds me of Quentin Johnson. That fool was drafted in the first round as well. Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison, and then Jason. After Jordan Addison, it was a bunch of shit. Well, Jayden Reed and this was a great. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about the wrong one. This was an amazing class. Rashee Rice, Jayden Reed, Tank Dell, Josh Downs, even Michael Tucker, man. So this hit rate was at 71.4%.
Wilson.
What are you gonna say?
Michael Wilson.
I can't remember what I said.
Michael Tucker.
Oh, thank you. I read two things at the same time. So yeah, this is like the ceiling of what rookie quarterbacks or rookie wide receivers can do for you in fantasy football. 7 out of 10 of them will produce value for you when you draft them. And then, so I really like this year. Rashee Rice really took off in the second half of the year. And Tank Dell, dude, was a league winner until he got fucking his leg broke or whatever. And then Jackson Smith-Njigba still, dude, is going to be a second round, third round draft pick this year. Quentin Johnson, though, is what we need to look out for in the future. Zay Flowers, man, was so fucking good, man. So good. And then a terrible year last year. But again, hit rate 71%. So we have a 30-something percent. We have a 71%. And remember, Jason, the running backs last week when we spoke about them, they were pretty much 50% every single year.
That's good to know.
So a lot more volatility in the wide receiver hit rate. And then lastly, Jason.
Hold on, Tyler. Hey, sorry. The chat. Jamie wants to know if there's any second-year wide receiver you think will bounce back. He likes Ricky Pearsall.
Oh, Ricky Pearsall, man, is on my it's the 49ers. Damn, dude, I got to go over the teams that I'm targeting because of bounce backs and the Vegas over and unders. But Ricky Pearsall or Juwan Johnson, I will be drafting both of those. So I think that's amazing. And then, damn, dude, the second year bounce back. Let me look at I was like, who are the wide receivers? I got them right in front of me. What the fuck am I doing? Let's see. Romo Dunze, no. Brian Thomas, Xavier Worthy, Ricky Pearsall. Ricky Pearsall, I actually like Xavier Legette's numbers a lot more than what I thought I would. I was going through some stuff. I think Xavier Legette might be a bounce back there because he was they're keeping the same offensive coordinator and the same everything. He should take a step forward. And I mean, Xavier Legette, dude, you actually got a little bit of value on him. So that's somebody that I'm thinking about drafting way late. And then other than that, Jason, if Adonai Mitchell's interesting if they got a new quarterback, but until they get that, I'm not really interested in him either.
Yeah, I was just putting in the chat, am I crazy thinking Marvin Harrison Jr. because of his ADP?
Well, also, what do you think about Keon Coleman? And because you know who's still a free agent, man, is Amari Cooper. So Keon Coleman, still another year with the door open for him to be the wide receiver one. Do you think he could do that?
I was never the biggest fan of him coming out of college. Amari Cooper, he was pretty much a bust last year when he went to the Bills. It's not like he did a lot. I can't see him being the number one. No, I think that's
how I feel too. I think he needs to be I think his ceiling is like a top 24 wide receiver for Josh Allen, but he's still not the number one.
Yeah, and then, I still think that it's going to go through Shakir first.
Shakur. I know, dude. I know. And then, hey, man, let's go over the 22 and 22 rookies real fast. Jason, your Drake London, you were super high on. He was a value. Garrett Wilson, man, Ohio State people that were not Jackson Smith-Njigba. Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave. I drafted Chris Olave. I thought that was the shit. That was amazing for me. But you see the hit rate, Jason, on the first, 12 players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So greater than 50% on the first 7 players, but then it goes down after that. So 43.7% hit rate there. But man, this was a terrible draft. When I saw this, I was like, oh my God, dude, fuck this draft. You're taking Wan'Dale Robinson in the second round. I mean, I like Wan'Dale Robinson, but what the fuck are we doing here? Then Tyquan Thornton, George Pickens was awesome, but I mean, he was almost about to drop out of school. And then it's like Alec Pierce, Sky Moore in the second round, Velus Jones in the third, man, Jalen Tolbert in the third, David Bell in the third. This was the worst draft I've seen. And it was still a 43% hit rate. So, yeah, as far as this goes, man, this makes me like I want to draft players in the first couple that get drafted in the first couple of rounds. If that makes sense, the hit rate is usually greater than 50%. Once you get in the third round and later, it goes down tremendously.
I think one of the biggest disappointments in this is Garrett Wilson. Is it his fault? I don't know.
Garrett Wilson?
Yeah, Garrett Wilson.
Man, he was drafted as wide receiver 53 that year. I can't remember who was the number one wide receiver on that team, but to think that the number one wide receiver was drafted on the Jets as a wide receiver 53, man, that was crazy value. All right, man. Let's get into. I've been talking too much, Jason, so I want you to speak. Let's get into the running backs for 2025 or the wide receivers for 2025. I've got the PFF rankings up right now, and their round that they're graded to go in. So we have 4 first-round wide receivers this year, Jason. If you look at the last couple of years, I mean, 2024? Holy shit, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fuck, dude, last year was crazy in the first-round wide receivers. 4 the year before that, and 5. So this is an average year for wide receivers going in the first round, Jason.
Yeah. Do you want me to start with my guy? I'm looking at.
Yeah, who are you going to start with? Let's start. We're going to start with your high upside, your safe pick.
Oh, I'm
your sleeper.
I'm thinking right now. If he's a PFF ranked 11, is that a sleeper?
These are my sleep, dude. No, right. These are sleepers, yeah, because my sleeper is ranked 10th. Spoiler alert. So yeah, like as far as wide receivers, like we'll talk about Puka Nakuas and shit later on, man. Once we see some like where they go in situations, but as of right now, we're just going on talent alone. You only want to fuck around with the first 3 rounds, man. Pretty much.
Yeah. So this guy's my sleeper. Looks like PFF has him ranked 11th overall. He's Xavier Restrepo. Am I saying that right? Restrepo.
Yeah, Restrepo. I think he's Italian. Restrepo.
All right, let's strap it on.
Restrap on? Who's this guy, man? It's fucking Xavier Restrepo. It sounds like a porn name.
Okay, so this guy, he didn't participate in the combine, but at his pro day, people may have heard of this. Maybe. He ran a 4.83 in his 40. That is not good. Why am I even talking about this guy?
That's at the pro day, Jason.
Huh?
And that's at the pro day. I was so amazed that was the pro day time. Add a 10th to it because that'd be the combine time.
Yeah. He did say he tightened a hamstring.
I'd say that too.
He tweeted it and then it got deleted. So I don't know what that means, man. I don't know what that means. He said he normally runs in the 4.5s. I mean, I could say that too. I run in the 4.5s. It's not on tape. I don't have to do it, but I'm going to say I do. So he's going to drop off people's radar, right? Because that's like Jake Bobo speed right there. So, but I still wanted to go look at his tape because his stats are kind of crazy. I'll go over them. His tape shows that he is faster than a 4.83. He runs smooth routes and was able to find the soft spot in zones. His footwork on release for press coverage is crazy good. I saw a lot of contested catches that he won. He had good ball awareness, able to read defenses pre-snap. They show highlights of that. He had a high football IQ. He isn't the down the field guy, but he's like a chain mover, someone your quarterback can trust on when the game is on the line. So the crazy stat, he's the only Miami Hurricane wide receiver to have back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, which is crazy. He also has the school record for yards, receptions, and touchdowns for the Miami Hurricanes, which is crazy. 69 receptions, 1,127 yards, and 11 touchdowns last year. That's with Cam Ward throwing him the ball. Versus Syracuse, he had 9 receptions, 148 yards, and 1 touchdown. Like I said, he will likely drop because of his 40, which means you could get him really cheap. But in the right offense, as a slot wide receiver, easy PPR points, he can have success. My comp is Julian Edelman, who also had a low speed score, like strap on, same height, same weight. He was a late draft pick, but in the right system, he had fantasy value. So right now it looks like he's possibly going to go to the Broncos or the Commanders. That's what people are saying online.
Oh, there we go. So Julian Edelman was the comp I saw a lot, Jason. He can get open in short spaces. This guy's built like a fucking bowling ball. Did you see how he's built his legs?
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, But yeah, so Steve Smith. All right. So Steve Smith pointed out what Cooper Kupp. Oh my God, dude. I went over his highlight reel today. It's like before you look at his wide receiver videos, he points out the people that he did well on. And he likes Restrepo. I mean, he thinks that he's a football player. He doesn't know how he's going to get involved, but he will get involved. Jason, do you think he can eventually? Well, do you think his rookie season he could actually be a flex player for you?
This guy, it's all about what team he goes to.
So we need to see what kind of situation he needs to be in the slot. He needs to be like with a situational, smart team that needs a slot wide receiver. It really depends on the situation, just like Jason said.
Yeah.
But man, I mean, if he does, just like Julian Edelman went to the right team, man.
Yeah.
I think this guy is more talented than Julian Edelman. Obviously, I mean, he's going to be a higher draft pick. So
in the NFL draft, we're going to see if this guy is going to be worth a pickup or not, and it just depends what team picks him.
All right, dog. Let's get into mine. I'm sharing my notes because whatever, dude. I don't care what you see. I do care what you see. I don't care if you care what I think. I do want you to care what I think. Anyways, Jason, Emeka Egbuka. I'm sure that's wrong, but hey, dude, to all the African citizens out there, I do apologize. Hopefully you're watching us. Shout out to us on the comments. First round rated slot wide receivers. So he is the top slot wide receiver on the board. 6 foot, 205 pounds, which matches the height and weight of a ton of amazing slot wide receivers in this league. Not the best wide receiver on his team, man, because they had Jeremiah Smith coming out this last year. And Jeremiah Smith is the fucking best prospect I've heard of since, I don't know, dude, Jamar Chase. So Jeremiah Smith is like a legend right now in college. I mean, all I do is hear whispers of him, or whatever on the radio. Steve Smith was talking about this guy just like the safest pick. He is the safest pick, man, that you could possibly have. He is my high floor pick. I'm going to try to draft him no matter what, man, wherever I go, because it is pretty much guaranteed this guy's going to be a value. And then I know that he's not the best wide receiver on his team, but people on his team, coaches and Steve Smith, whoever he talked to, could not have won a championship without him. So, and then this is where it gets into the stats, man, the analytics. PFF gave him a 91.1% prospect model percentile rank. That is a combination of a ton of different metrics. And then 58% of those wide receivers in the 90th percentile finish as top 24 PPR wide receivers through 2024, like as far as a rookie year. So there is a greater than 50% chance, pretty much a 60% chance, this guy finishes as a top 24 wide receiver. Jason, there's no way in hell this guy is going to be drafted as a top 24 wide receiver. So automatically, man, you're getting a 60% chance. You would take that all day in gambling as far as a top 24 PPR wide receiver. So I swear to God, dude, you better be drafting this guy in best ball fucking everywhere, dude, as far as I'm concerned. And then there's only 2 wide receivers. I didn't see the Luther, Jason. I need to see his graphic. It would not load. But as far as the graphics that would load, only Emeka and King Tet ranked in the 90th percentile, and I think King Tet is going to be a kind of a bust. So this guy, even if it's 50% a year, this guy is going to be the guy that gets that top 24 pick. He is a zone killer, man. The 3rd most efficient wide receiver versus zone at 2.83 yards per route run. And we do man versus zone every single week, Jason, during the season. NFL defenses run zone more and more every single year, dude. So zone killer is what I want. His weakness, though, is efficiency versus man, only in the 24th percentile, man, in yards per route run among wide receivers since 2019. And then slot wide receivers face man 20% of the plays. So 20% of the time, man, you are going to be facing his weakness, whereas 80% of the time, he fucking kills it. So I actually really like that. That's fine with me. And then as far as the red zone, dude, I was checking this out. He, even as not the number 1 wide receiver on his team over multiple years, the 4th most career targets in the red zone. So his coaches want to get him the ball in the red zone. I love that. And then separation, man, 85th percentile since 2019. That's great. 59.1% contested catch rate. That's in the 76th. So he's better than 3 out of 4 wide receivers every time. And as far as not being an elite athlete, that is amazing. The smartest wide receiver in the draft. And then as far as comps go, Jason, 4.48. He's got a 4.48 40. It's the same as JSN. He was a slot wide receiver out of Ohio State. St. Brown, 4.51. So around the 4.5. And then Kupp, who I really want to compare him to because of his intelligence and the way he sets up defenses, 4.62. So same height and weight as St. Brown and JSN. I can see that comp, but I really like to comp him to Cup. 2 inches taller and regarded as an all-time high football IQ, who could manipulate linebackers in the secondary to create that separation. So Steve Smith was pointing out how he can manipulate both levels of the defense with his IQ. The last time he really spoke highly about that was Cooper Kupp. That's why I have him as my comp. And dude, if he goes to the right place, he will be a fucking top 20 draft. He will be a top 20 wide receiver. But I think worst case scenario is gonna be top 36. Give him to me, man.
I'm gonna have to check this guy's footwork if he's being compared to Mr. Cap.
No, he watch it. Watch it. He's amazing. He creates separation. Like he knows where to put his feet. You know what I'm saying? Like he could just read things before it happens. A lot like Cooper Kupp. So I am going to be drafting this guy no matter what, pretty much every time.
Well, you draft players from Ohio State. That's just something.
And I was like, dude, look at the history. Like, because Steve Smith is like, oh, I don't know about Ole Miss wide receivers because look at this. And then he talks about Ohio State, and it's like fucking fantasy stud. It's like shit, dude. So I would go with the fantasy stud Ohio State.
How would you feel if he got drafted by the Ravens?
I don't think the Ravens are going to draft him, man. Bateman just broke out. They got Zay Flowers. If he did, I think that would be a JSN situation where he might not hit his first year, but second year he'll be hitting hard. So I say he's the most guaranteed thing, but if he goes somewhere with 2 established wide receivers, I might be a little bit scared.
If he's Jamie's saying he's going to the Rams, and it's confirmed.
Dude, if he fucking went to the Rams, I'd be all balls. No, I wouldn't. Oh my God. They'd keep Devontae Adams for a year, teach this guy what's up, and then get rid of Devontae Adams. Oh my God. It'd be a second year hit. So again, if he went to the Rams or somewhere with 2, if he's, because I like him like JSN, you know, JSN was even higher regarded. So if he goes to a place, I mean, JSN didn't hit, but when he gets his opportunity, he's going to hit guaranteed. So it's all, I guess there is a little bit of opportunity risk here.
Even though Jackson threw for 41 touchdowns.
Oh, Jackson who?
He threw for 41 touchdowns. You don't think he got a little piece of that?
Who did?
Lamar Jackson.
Oh, Jackson. I'm thinking Jackson Dart. I'm like, dude, I was speaking about the wrong person, man. I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson's touchdowns are going to go down to fucking 30. So what do I care?
Bet that.
All right, dog. Give me another wide receiver.
Luther Burden the third.
Luther. When I see this, I just think about Mac's dad from Luther Vandross from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Do you really?
Yeah, I don't know why, man. I'm like, Luther. I know a Luther, and I'm like, oh, that's right.
It's so crazy. That guy's the craziest dude ever. He's always like, oh, yeah, go and do that. Bring that to me. I will love you, son. All creepy. Okay. Dead air. Let's go. So Luther, he had a 4.41 time, which put him in the 90th percentile. The speed score put him in the 88th percentile. He had productive years at Missouri. 85, 1,212 yards and 9 touchdowns in 2023, a target share of 32%. Last year, 61 catches, 6 touchdowns with 2 rushing touchdowns. So he's involved in the passing game and the rushing game. He's primarily a slot receiver. 85% of his snaps were in the slot. Easy points, as I like to say, for PPR. First thing I thought from his tape is he has the potential to be the best rookie wide receiver in 2025. His highlights are awesome. They're amazing to watch. He is quick out of the slot. Ball tracking is elite. One-handed catches and 56 contested catch rate. So even when he's being contested, he's winning that battle 56% of the time. And he is great after the catch. 30 missed tackles on 61 catches. So he had the second highest YAC and third lowest ADOT, which is something that you want from your slot receiver, right? He's an interior receiver, great hands, catches the ball, turns around, runs, forces a missed tackle, and then uses his speed and strength to gain extra yards. So you see that in most of his highlights. He plays like he's in the backyard. He's very raw. His route running isn't special, but I see untapped potential here with the right team. I'm starting to see a pattern here with a lot of these players, Tyler. It's all about the right team. Put him in the best system where they could teach him and utilize his talent. I could see him as a Rasheed Rice, but harder to tackle. But that's only in the perfect situation. And it looks like right now another team that's interested in him, the Commanders, just like him, Xavier, and it looks like Commanders might be going for a slot wide receiver in the draft. And so Burden is definitely an option for that.
Dude, he was amazing in the red zone, man. What, the second highest success rate, first down plus, touchdown receiving grade in the class, 33% target rate in the red zone. That's only behind Higgins. Emeka, I do want to talk about screens real fast. I forgot to say that the slot receiver I like was the most efficient wide receiver in screens, was amazing. But dude, Luther was right behind him. And he actually had his career receiving touchdowns, Jason, a quarter of them were fucking from screens. So give him a coach that can dial up some screens, maybe like a Sean McVay. Dude, oh my God. So we'll pay attention to where he goes. If he gets a good screen game going on, this motherfucker, because you said he was raw. And then I looked at the screen stuff. I was like, dude, if he's raw and can get a good guy that sets up screen. Oh, Andy Reid. I mean, that's why you said Rasheed Rice, man.
Yep.
So that's a good comp.
Yeah, Rasheed Rice did a lot of screens his rookie year, But you go and watch this guy's highlights, dude. It's like you think he's out there with his friends on Thanksgiving, dude. Like, it's just crazy. It's fun to watch. He has really good highlights. He does need to improve his route running, though. But yeah, he's got speed. He got strength. He can catch the ball. He's going to be fun.
Got speed and strength
in the right system.
All right, man. I'm going to share this with you. My cat's fucking tearing up cardboard boxes like it's 4th of July. Jason, Travis Hunter. This guy doesn't even get picked apart. Steve Smith doesn't even review him. All right. Steve Smith. Go check out his wide receiver reviews. I like those. PFF doesn't even have him as a goddamn wide receiver in the rankings. Okay. But he's a first round rated XYZ receiver. I'm telling you, if he's an outside or a slot, well, guess what, dude? Travis Hunter only doesn't play both sides of the ball. He plays all around as well. So in the slot, he's amazing. On the outside, he's amazing. 6'1", 185 pounds, Jason. That's like me trying to enter the NFL. I'm 6'3", 185. I would die. This guy's out there surviving and thriving. So that's pretty awesome. Unofficial 4.440. Did not want to run. So obviously he's not going to be a burner, but he looks like a burner. I'm going to kill this cat, dude. Hey,
I can hear that cat.
Get out of here. 44.1% of 85. Oh, anyways, 88.8% prospect model percentile ranked by PFF. So I spoke about the 90% and how 58% of them end up being top 24 wide receivers. Well, this guy's a high end 80s. Okay. 44% of the 85th percentile prospects of 2024 finished top 24. So there is an almost 50% chance this guy's being a top 24 wide receiver anyways. 47% in the top 36. So this guy is almost a 50% flex for you. I would take the chance on him. 94th percentile versus press. And I think that's important because he's 185 pounds. If you told me, like Devontae Smith, dude, all this, there were some bad metrics about press coverage, I'm pretty sure, when he came out. Because he was 170 pounds. This guy's 185. He can handle it. All right. He is a DB, so he plays with himself a lot, plays with his hands a lot. Also, 4 missed tackles per reception. This guy sets himself up before the catch to run downfield. He's already had a full gallop. He misses so many fucking tackles, man. He catches everything, and when he catches it, he misses the tackles. It's crazy. And then his success rate versus man is the 5th highest mark among Power 5 prospects in the reception perception database, besting previous top route running performers like Devontae Smith and Chris Olave. His 88% success rate versus zone trails only Calvin Ridley among Power 5 prospects, and his 84.4% success rate versus press is the best amongst prospects who face press at least 22% of their routes. So across the board, this guy against elite competition is the best wide receiver fucking ever as far as they've been taking metrics, dude. So it's kind of crazy how good this guy is. The problem is going to be his his opportunity. That's why you're going to be able to get him a little bit later. Best hands in the draft. I've heard that from like 10 different sources. And when I watch it, he like pulls it like, the other guy, the DB touches it, catches it, and this guy still comes down with the ball. It's fucking nuts, man. It is like OBJ in his heyday. That's the main comp here. OBJ, 4.4, 340, 5'11, 200 pounds. OBJ still owns the top 3 scores in success rate versus man and press coverage, just like this guy does. Speed burst and route running. So when he runs crisp routes and when he catches it, the speed burst is insane. So that's why he's like OBJ. But when you watch him move, man, he's so much like Justin Jefferson. It's crazy. It's like I'm watching the same fucking person. I bet you, I try to check out the reach measurements, but I guess they don't take that. I bet you it's the same as Justin Jefferson. They are lanky people, man, with precision, quick feet route running, and their ball skills are the same. They're fucking nuts, dude. And then as far as Adrian Peterson timing, this guy's route running, the way he times his routes, the way he comes back on the balls, he's in full stride, full speed by the time he's catching the ball. It reminds me of like Larry Fitzgerald and stuff like that. If you remember, like that touchdown versus the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Super Bowl, he was already at full stride when he caught that ball. This guy does that all the time, man. That's like his calling card. I will be drafting Travis Hunter if he's in the 4th round or later for upside alone. This guy's a generational talent, and I had to see it to believe it. I saw it, Jason, on the tape. Dude, we're combining Justin Jefferson, OBJ, and Adrian Peterson, and I really don't mind saying that.
Did I not hear that you didn't mention he's the Heisman Trophy winner?
Well, he is the Heisman Trophy winner, Jason. So yeah.
That's got to add something, right?
It was Devontae Smith. I mean, that because he was getting compared to Devonta Smith a lot because of his weight and the route running skills. But I'm like, dude, I saw Justin Jefferson and then I went back and looked at Justin Jefferson college routes. The first 3 routes were exactly the same that I saw from Travis Hunter. So I was like, holy fuck. So yeah, Justin Jefferson comps, OBJ route running. It's crazy.
So he's going to be playing wide receiver and cornerback.
His biggest weakness, though, Jason, is he takes plays off at the end of drives because he's so goddamn tired from playing cornerback. So I hope he goes wide receiver only, cornerback maybe packages, but that's not the way it works. He'll probably be cornerback with wide receiver packages. So there is a huge risk here, but I want to take that risk.
So you would roll the dice just in case.
Roll the dice. I'd sacrifice, man. I'm Nipsey Hussle over here.
And it looks like people are saying mainly going to the Giants as well.
I saw that repeatedly on Reddit, and I was like, who the fuck are Giants, dude? You got some holes, dog. So, I mean, if he went to the Giants, he'd be mainly playing on defense. That would be one of my main issues, is if he went to the Giants.
Yeah, I think if he went to the Giants, he would be playing mostly defense.
That's what pissed me off. It would piss me off if he went to the Giants. So it's like worst case scenario.
Didn't they just bring back they just re-signed a player. The Giants said their wide receiver. Oh my God, it's not Sterling Shepard. Who's the other guy Darius Slayton, right? Then they bring him back.
Oh yeah, they brought Darius Slayton back on a weak ass deal. So that doesn't bother me.
Well, no. So what I'm thinking is if they do draft him, they were probably going to use him. I can see them use him more of a cornerback than a wide receiver because they kind of got their set. But then year 2, Slayton's out of there. Put in Hunter, and
yeah, because they've got Wandell. Wandell's an amazing slot, and they've got their deep / star wide receiver, and that they need a deep burner. And yeah. Oh my God, dude, that sucks. I don't even like thinking about that, Jason. All right, let's go on to the next one. All right.
All right.
And, hey, you know what, Jason? Before we get into our last wide receivers, how do you feel about Tateroa McMillan? Because I'm getting Quentin Johnson vibes from him. I think I already said that. Yeah. There was a lot of negative metrics about him that could lead to a bust.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of saying, there's only one way to go when you were the prospect as probably the best wide receiver here, if you're not including Travis Hunter. He's looked pretty good to me when I seen his tape. He had some game where he had 10 receptions for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. It was pretty crazy, but I haven't watched that much tape on him. I just know he's one of the favorites going into this, so I didn't really want to talk about him.
Well, I wanted to mention though, Jason, is because he's a tall, lanky wide receiver. The wide receiver you're about to go to is tall as well, because that's a rare trait in this year's draft. And he moves 10,000 times better than fucking McMillan. So the guy you're about to talk to, I would draft over McMillan every single time. And Steve Smith agrees. So who's your next wide receiver?
Jayden Higgins.
Wiggins, dog. He's a disc golf thrower. He holds the distance record.
Isn't there a Wiggins that plays basketball as well?
Motherfucker, he was supposed to be the next Michael Jordan and Andrew Wiggins, and then it was terrible. So no, he was a Cleveland Cavalier. He was supposed to save the Cavaliers after LeBron James left.
Yeah, he was not the savior; he was the destroyer. Okay, so Higgins. A 6'4" player running a 4.47 40. This dude has a massive catch radius, a wingspan of over 6 feet 7 inches. It's bigger than my car.
I was going to say cock. I was like, oh yeah, Jason, good one.
Well, it's not bigger than my cock, so. Anyway, come on. We're strap on.
Bless you.
Able to get separation and man coverage. He's able to break press coverage very easily. He uses his body to box out defenders. He's a great ball tracker, able to bend and twist his body when running full speed to catch a pass. Doesn't catch with his body, catches with his hands, and he definitely plays to his size. Good hands. I saw a tweet, only 7 drops and 350 career targets. I don't know how true that stat is. We'll get Stephanie and Pam on it, but I just saw it. I was like, damn, that is a crazy stat. Overall, I feel like he's a very polished wide receiver with a few weaknesses, but nothing to be concerned about compared to other players in this draft. He does play in the slot. He does have some snaps in the slot to create mismatches, so he's used to playing in the slot as well, but mainly playing on the outside. He's great at the sideline catches, but he can also catch over the middle. 87 receptions, 1,183 yards, 9 touchdowns with a 29% target share versus Utah. 9 receptions, 155 yards, and 1 touchdown. My comparison is Mike Evans. Evans is quick for his size. He's not a 100 catch type of a player, but uses his body to make catches and scores touchdowns. That's what this guy does. Projections are showing that he will be the first round pick to the Packers. And if he goes to the Packers, all he has to do is stay healthy, and he will have playing time.
I would draft him all day, dude. If that motherfucker went to the Packers, that's best case scenario, maybe. Because, Jason, so Steve Smith Sr. said that, King Tet, he's going to be the biggest faller because people are the more tape. Usually these scouts and coaches watch the cut 3 times. By the 3rd time, they're going to notice that McMillan can't fucking run the route tree, and they're going to mark him down. Jayden Higgins can run every single route on that route tree that Steve Smith likes. He's a goddamn professional wide receiver, so I like that too. So he thinks that he's going to be rising. He thinks that King Tet should go number 2 and Matthew Golden should go number 1. I had a lot of issues with Matthew Golden. The stuff I love, but the stuff I don't like, holy shit, man, there's a lot of risk there.
It's kind of interesting that he's not either one of our favorites for this.
Dude, his prospect score is like a 54. And everybody else is in the top 15 is like 80 plus. It's crazy. I don't understand it. But his upside is just his good tape is insane. But I just want to say, dude, Jayden Higgins, Jason, I don't think anybody in fantasy is going to be drafting him maybe if he goes through the perfect situation, if he goes to the Packers and shows out in preseason, we might be noticing him. But as far as somebody that you could draft late and almost bet on a top 36, maybe you'll be flexing him at the end of the year. I love Jayden Higgins, man. And when you said Mike Evans, I was like, oh, that's exactly who he's like, dude, like a young Mike Evans. Yeah, because this guy moves. And when he gets into the slot, it is scary because he moves like a fucking small guy. So Steve Smith was like talking about him in the slot repeatedly because of how he moves and attacks cornerbacks there. So if a team can afford to put him in the slot, that's even crazier. But yeah, I'm going to be keeping my eye on him, Jason. every single one of these stats, dude, he was like, Jay Higgins top in red zone. Jay Higgins top in this, top in this. I was like, who the fuck is this Jay Higgins guy, dude? And you got him.
Yeah, Mike Evans plays in the slot every now and then, and I feel like that's probably what a team's going to do with Higgins as well. I do think it'd be a good spot if he does go to the Packers, because if he could just catch the damn ball, then he's going to be moved up above Devontae Wicks, and if he can stay healthy, he's going to bump up over Christian Watson. So I think he could definitely get some playing time. Tyler, we got Lewis. He's up in here.
From St. Louis.
He said, yo.
What's up, dog?
Do you have an overall rookie draft?
You know what? That's something that we should put together, Jason. But right now, I'd go Ashton Genty, number one for sure. I think that running backs would probably dominate the top 4, and then it would go into wide receivers, and then we'd be looking at the tight ends that I really like as well. So tight ends are going to be mixed in with the wide receivers a little bit, but the running backs are going to own probably the top 4 picks. So we could do this. I think that's a great idea, actually. So thank you, Lewis. But off the top of my head, I'm just like, dude, running backs, then mostly wide receivers with like 3 tight ends mixed in. And as far as quarterbacks, no fucking thanks.
And then we also got Chief TP TB. I want to say that's toilet paper for Taco Bell. I don't know.
Dude, God knows when I eat Taco Bell, I better have a fucking full roll of toilet paper, because it's like I'm wiping a marker out there.
Clear the room, clear the hallway, clear the house. I'm going in. He's basically saying, what's up to amazing people, beautiful people. Then Jamie's back here. Number 1 rookie wide receiver for Dynasty.
So I like Young on Dynasty, so I don't like Tre Harris. Tre Harris is a 5th-round player. If I was doing Dynasty, Jason, I don't like King Tet. Dude, it'd be hard to talk me out of Travis Hunter for Dynasty.
That's the only option. That's the only guy.
Because I think Emeka Egbuka would be my second pick there, because he's the safest pick. But dude, Travis Hunter, especially if you're talking Dynasty and you're kind of in it for the long haul, I'd go there. Because he's the generational talent of this class.
Yeah.
And then I go Emeka because he's going to be a fucking productive wide receiver for 10 years with Amon-Ra Browns as his upside. So, or Cooper Kupp as his upside.
I will go Hunter and then Burden. That's 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean, I like Burden shit though, man. After looking at Higgins, I'm like, God damn it, I like Higgins just as much as I like Luther. Luther Vandross. He entered me first. He entered him, and then he entered him. Anyways, Tre Harris, Jason, I'm going to go over real fast.
I like this guy.
Dude, I was going over situations. Google it. I don't know if you have PFF, but if you do, rookie wide receiver in situations, because I keep on seeing like analysts, they talk about if you want to find a good wide receiver, man, look at 3rd down stats and stuff like that. So I like looking at situations. And so I look at the situations, and this guy was literally the top of everything other than red zone for you and Higgins. Like, it was Higgins and Tre Harris. I was like, this is insane. I have to talk about this guy. 6'3", maybe 6'2", depending on who you talk to, Jason. 210 pounds. Jackson Dart, Lane Kiffin. So this is the biggest knock on them. Old Miss, I mean, just like Steve Smith was saying, they run the furthest away from a pro offense you could possibly do. So that is a problem there. So I went back to look at some wide receivers from Lane Kiffin and Robert Woods, Nelson Aguilar. That's great.
From where?
Dude, right? USC. There you go, man. Robert Woods was amazing. Nelson Aguilar, when he's fucking healthy and has opportunity, is amazing as well. DK Metcalf and AJ Brown are the only Ole Miss wide receivers to make it. The rest have amazing talent, get drafted high, and then suck. So we're looking at that right now. As far as, Ohio State, we love. Ole Miss is one of the colleges we fucking hate, apparently. Second highest PFF grade versus man at 95.3. Dude, Jason the neighbors led the class last year at 90.8. I was like, holy shit, dude. Who is this guy, Tre Harris? Second highest PFF grade versus press coverage. So when I'm thinking about rookies versus entering the NFL, I want to see versus man versus press coverage. I want to see if they're going to get bullied. This guy ain't getting bullied, dog. Second highest PFF grade versus press coverage. So successful versus press, just like Travis Hunter, and successful versus man, which is what they play. What, dude? Like 60% of the time in the NFL, or more than that, 70% of the time. Second highest or sixth highest PFF grade versus zone at 86.1. Neighbors led the class. So Neighbors was a unicorn, led the class in both last season. MHJ though at 86.6, Lad at 85. So this is still a really good score. Third highest PFF grade in late down situations. So third down and fourth down situations, he was amazing, man. The third best wide receiver, while also having the second highest yards per route run in those situations. So he was efficient as well, man. So I'm like, dude, all of these efficiency or all these analytics line up for amazing production in the NFL. But let's look at where he is bad. 7.7% drop rate. That was like in the 25th percentile or something like that. That's not great. He also ran a pretty slow 40, but he is 6'3". So really that doesn't scare me. Fifth year player with a long injury history. So when I looked about why is he not being graded higher? Why is he not being graded higher? The number one thing was his injuries. And then fifth year, which is kind of scary as well, because that usually never equals fantasy success. And then he was number 2 on the team with an established. Oh, he needs to be the number 2 on a team with an established star wide receiver, because I do not think that he is a true number 1. And my comp for him is actually Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman had a 4.6140. He was still drafted, I think, in the first round or second, top of the second, and was a contested catch monster. So this guy's I don't know if I mentioned it already, man, but this guy's contested catch rate is fucking insane. But I don't think he's a number 1 wide receiver. So if this guy gets drafted late, I want to get this guy as a flex later on. So in the right situation, give me this guy as a top 36 wide receiver, and you could draft him as a wide receiver 70, wide receiver 80, wide receiver maybe 60 top end, and you will get 30 positions of value on him. So that's why I wanted to mention him. I think that he's going to be a great value pretty much no matter what this draft entails or where he goes. But there's potential for him to do really well. But yeah, Jason, I think this guy, I had to talk about him because of PFF. PFF laid out situations, and he was the top of like 4 of the 6.
Yeah, before we go into that, I just want, so I don't forget, Chief is talking about, it feels like Emeka is going to Houston with Stroud.
Dude, so that'd be interesting because Tank Dell should be on the outside a little bit as well, but he's coming off of 2 major fucking leg injuries. So if he went to Houston with that offensive line, I would be totally cool with that, and I'd be drafting his ass in like the 7th or 8th round and be feeling good about it. If I get him later, I'd feel fucking amazing about it. But rookie wide receivers tend to go early, especially the ones that are drafted in the first round. Even Rome Odunze got drafted. He got overdrafted last year as well. So I think I would like Houston. That wouldn't be bad.
And then I was looking up for Tre Harris. Do you know who was throwing the ball to Tre Harris?
Shit. Oh yeah, Jackson Dart says he's the best wide receiver in the draft, and that he would comp him to AJ Brown, even though I don't see AJ Brown. Yeah, dude, his deep ball metrics are insane because this guy's fucking deep ball metrics are like the top in the class. But AJ Brown's like a 230-pound wide receiver, man, all in the base. So it's not the same type of yards after contact type of wide receiver as AJ Brown. Yeah, that's what I would say about that.
How would you feel if he went to the Broncos?
So Courtland Sutton is on his way out. Veal was a 5th round wide receiver from last year, and then Marvin Mims was just starting to hit. Franklin might be a 5th year wide receiver as well, but Steve Smith hates Franklin. So if he went to the Broncos, I would still draft him. That's a Marquise Colston type of body type as well, Jason. So remember Marquise Colston for the Saints? His rookie year, I think he finished as wide receiver 18 in fantasy. So I've
every 2 months. Yeah,
I've comped him a bunch in the past. So that's why I know how he finished in his rookie year. Go check it out. I might be right. but I know he did well his rookie year. So if he went to the Broncos, I would be rolling the dice on that shit.
What if he did go to the Bills and play with his comp? That's another option.
I think Keon Coleman's is a second year bounce back candidate. So I don't like that. I don't like it at all. Actually, I don't like it. So there's some places he needs to go to the right situation, man. Whereas like, I don't know, man. I was thinking, I was like, I wish he could go to the see Keon Coleman. I wish he could go to Miami and kind of fill like an outside role, in like a pass happy offense or something like that, and just see if he could be a flex instead of Jalen Waddle. I'm not really sure what I want. I'd have to think about it more. I should have. He's a wide receiver I thought about. I got him. He was my first wide receiver I picked, but then I got really into the high end wide receivers because they hit more, the higher hit rate. So I kind of went more detail on that.
Yeah, this guy definitely has the talent to do well. It's just we gotta hope he could actually have a pattern of being healthy. The back-to-back seasons has ended early for him, right?
Back-to-back seasons of what?
He had season-ending injuries, or like.
Oh yeah, dude, this fucker's been injured every year. But when he plays, and he catches with his hands, I want to mention like one of my first comps I thought about was Anquan Bolden. How he used to be like, ha, just like fucking throw his hands at the ball and catch it every time. That's what I see out of this guy, and I love that because Steve Smith Sr. is like, if that guy catches his body, you better fucking forget about him in the NFL. This guy does not. He's all hands all the time. That's what my nickname was in high school, Jason.
The teachers gave you that,
huh? Anyways. JK, LOL. All right. But yeah, that's what I was thinking about him. There's good and bad with him, whereas my other two wide receivers, oh my God, I'm all about. So anyways, hey, man, I think that's it for the show. If you have your wide receivers that you like the best, please comment down below. Thank you for Jaime, Lewis, Chief. Thank you so much for contributing to the show, man. We appreciate it. We will be going over quarterbacks and tight ends probably next week.
Corey,
and I've got my anniversary the week after that. We'll have to see how that goes. So, Jason, please send us out.
So we're going to be here next week at the same time, and I think we're going to do the quarterbacks and tight end together.
Hey, man, and we need thumbs ups and we need subscriptions. Please, God, just get your mom to subscribe, get your fucking dad, whoever, man. Make up fake accounts, burner accounts. Please. Thank you so much.
Did something just happen? Did you, lose lighting?
Probably no, but maybe. I don't know.
You just did one of these. You're all. I said something crazy.
Oh, you. Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. I'm just messing. I get really animated when I'm drunk.
Anyway,
don't worry about it.
Guys, we'll see you guys next week. Deuces.
This is the Fantasy Red Zone, and we appreciate you. Hey, Jaime, shout out as well. That was a good one, Jason.